In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through social media, Yandy Smith Harris has allegedly slapped her husband, Mendeecees Harris, in a moment of rage that no one saw coming. Fans are stunned as the reality TV power couple, once admired for their on-screen glamour and seemingly perfect family life, find themselves at the center of an explosive scandal. What could have triggered such a violent outburst? Sources close to the couple whisper about deep-rooted tensions, infidelity rumors, and a betrayal that has shaken their relationship to its core. But that's not all. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, an unexpected attack on Yandy has left the entire family in turmoil. As emotions run high, the drama escalates further when Yandy takes matters into her own hands by filing a shocking lawsuit against Mendeecees, citing emotional and physical distress. The once picture-perfect image of their marriage is now shattered, leaving fans questioning what really happened behind closed doors. Could this be the end of Yandy and Mendeecees' reign as reality TV's golden couple? The tension in the Harris household had been brewing for months. From the outside, everything appeared flawless, an empire built together, a love story unfolding on national TV for millions to witness. But behind closed doors, the cracks in their relationship were growing deeper, beyond what the cameras could capture. It all started with what seemed like a trivial argument, at least, that's what Mendeecees thought. A simple disagreement spiraled into a confrontation that would ultimately lead to an act of aggression that changed everything. The night of the incident was like any other. Yandy had just returned home from a long day of business meetings and photo shoots, while Mendeecees had been handling things at home with the kids. Despite their busy schedules, they always made time for each other, or at least they tried. But on this particular evening, something felt different. The tension was thick, as though both were walking on eggshells. Yandy had been growing increasingly frustrated, feeling Mendeecees becoming more distant, both emotionally and physically. She noticed how preoccupied he had become, constantly glued to his phone, disengaged from their conversations. Something was off, and it was driving her crazy. "I'm just tired, Mendeecees. You're not even listening to me anymore." Yandy snapped, tossing her purse onto the couch, her tone laced with weeks of pent-up irritation. Mendeecees, sitting at the dining table scrolling through his phone, barely looked up. His indifference only fueled Yandy's frustration. "What now, Yandy? You're just going to blow up over nothing?" he replied, his voice flat and uninterested. That was the breaking point. "It's always nothing, isn't it? That's what you think. But I can feel it, you're pulling away from me." Yandy shouted, her voice trembling with emotion. "Movement. You don't get it, do you? I'm working hard to provide for this family. I'm doing everything I can." Yandy's eyes narrowed. "You think I don't appreciate that? This isn't about money, Mendeecees. I need you here, with me, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Not just for the kids, but for us." A heavy silence followed. For a moment, Mendeecees' expression softened, but then something shifted, his defensiveness creeping in, his irritation turning into anger. "What's wrong with you? Are you accusing me of something?" he asked, his voice rising. Yandy shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just telling you how I feel." Mendeecees scoffed. "Well, if you're so unhappy, maybe you should have said something sooner. But don't come at me like I'm the problem here." That was it. Yandy, overwhelmed with emotion, unable to hold back any longer, raised her hand and slapped Mendeecees across the face. The room fell into stunned silence. Mendeecees stood frozen, eyes wide in disbelief, the sting of the slap echoing in the air. Neither knew what to say. "Did you just hit me?" Mendeecees' voice was low, dangerously calm. Yandy's heart pounded. She had never done something like this before. "I didn't mean to, but you pushed me too far," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know what else to do anymore. You're shutting me out." The weight of what had just happened hung between them. Mendeecees, struggling to process the moment, finally spoke. I can't believe this. I never thought you'd do something like this. Yandy wiped her tears, regret creeping in. But at the same time, she couldn't deny the anger that had taken over. I didn't know what else to do, she whispered. You've been so distant, so cold. I don't even recognize you anymore. Mendeecees clenched his jaw. This isn't just about tonight, is it? You've been holding this in for a long time. They both knew the truth. The issues they had been avoiding had finally erupted. The slap was only the beginning of a chain reaction neither was prepared for. In the days that followed, their relationship deteriorated at an alarming rate. Mendeecees withdrew completely, leaving Yandy to face the consequences alone. Then, rumors surfaced, whispers of infidelity, of another woman. The speculation ran rampant on social media, and soon, the couple's private turmoil became a public spectacle. Desperate and emotionally drained, Yandy made a difficult decision. She reached out to a lawyer, not out of spite, but out of necessity. You need to file for a protective order, her lawyer advised. This isn't just a marital spat anymore. This could get much worse if you don't take action. Yandy hesitated, never imagining she would have to involve the law. But the emotional toll was too much, and Mendeecees' unpredictable behavior left her with no choice. She filed a lawsuit against him, citing emotional and physical distress. News of Yandy's lawsuit sent shockwaves through the media. Tabloids erupted with speculation. Fans, once enamored by their love story, were now divided, some siding with Yandy, others with Mendeecees. One thing was certain, their relationship would never be the same again. As the legal battle unfolds, questions linger. Was this truly the end for Yandy and Mendeecees? Or is there still hope for reconciliation? One thing is clear, the drama is far from over, and the world is watching. YouTube was abuzz with reactions as fans flooded social media with their thoughts on the escalating drama. Emotions ran high, and opinions were deeply divided. Many rallied behind Yandy, understanding that her actions stemmed from profound hurt. They pointed out that she had always been a steadfast and supportive partner to Mendeecees and believed she had every right to stand up for herself after what transpired. Others, however, were quick to defend Mendeecees, accusing Yandy of overreacting and questioning the validity of her claims. The online sphere turned into a battleground, with both sides passionately arguing for their perspective. Within the Harris family, tensions mirrored the public divide. Mendeecees' mother, a strong presence in his life, was devastated by the turmoil. Watching her son's marriage unravel was heartbreaking. She should have never laid a hand on him, she said in an emotional interview with a gossip blog. That's my son. He's been through enough. Yandy knows better. Meanwhile, Yandy's family firmly stood by her side. Her mother, particularly, was enraged. No woman should ever have to endure something like this, she told the press. Yandy did what she had to do to protect herself, and I'm proud of her for standing her ground. The discord extended beyond family, dividing friends as well. Some saw Mendeecees as the true victim, wrongly accused and emotionally suffering due to his wife's actions. Others believed he had taken his frustrations out on Yandy in an unacceptable way and stood by her decision to seek legal action. In the midst of the chaos, one thing was evident: Mendeecees was no longer the man he once was. The controversy surrounding the slap and its fallout had changed him. He became defensive, angry, and bitter, and the once strong foundation of his marriage was now hanging by a thread. Yandy, on the other hand, was focused on the bigger picture. She knew the lawsuit was just one part of a larger struggle. The future was uncertain, and unanswered questions loomed. Would Mendeecees ever apologize? Could their marriage be salvaged? And most importantly, how would this affect their children? As the lawsuit progressed, it became clear that there were no easy answers. The emotional toll was heavy, and the public scrutiny was relentless. Every phone call, every social media post, every appearance was analyzed and debated. Fans demanded answers, but the truth remained elusive. For Yandy, this lawsuit was more than just legal action, it was a fight for respect, dignity, and independence. It wasn't just about the slap, It was about years of emotional struggles that had accumulated in their marriage. She had sacrificed so much for Mendeecees, stood by him through legal battles, made personal compromises, and fought to keep their family intact. But now, betrayal, silence, and emotional abandonment had shattered everything. She was beginning to realize that she might have been holding on to something that wasn't meant to last. Yet, every time she wavered, she thought of her children. She couldn't bear to see her family completely torn apart, even as it seemed they were already at the breaking point. Mendeecees, on the other hand, was spiraling. The slap had sent him into a defensive mode, one that was both destructive and self-serving. He felt betrayed by the woman he once believed would always be in his corner. The lawsuit, though expected, cut deep, widening the rift between them. In his mind, Yandy had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. His pain and humiliation consumed him, but he refused to back down. With his pride wounded and reputation on the line, he was ready to fight back. His legal team was already preparing for a drawn-out battle. This wasn't just about the lawsuit, it was about his life, his family, and the image he had carefully built over the years. As legal proceedings unfolded, new revelations fueled the fire. The media was relentless, and speculation ran wild. Some claimed Yandy had been too controlling, pushing Mendeecees to his breaking point. Others argued that Mendeecees had been neglectful, and that the slap was a culmination of years of emotional turmoil. Every day brought new rumors, further complicating an already messy situation. Despite the chaos, Yandy became more resolute. The ordeal was changing her. She was no longer the woman who entered the marriage with unwavering faith in love and partnership. Now, she questioned everything. Was love enough to overcome this betrayal? Was there a future with Mendeecees, or was it time to walk away for good? As the months dragged on, the media frenzy intensified. Every legal motion was scrutinized, every social media update dissected. Yandy, exhausted by the public exposure, wanted to shield her children from the spectacle, but escape was impossible. Their family was unraveling before millions of eyes. Mendeecees, meanwhile, struggled with the fallout. His reputation was at stake, and the pressure was mounting. He was used to being in control, but now he felt cornered, unsure of how to repair the damage. Guilt gnawed at him, yet pride kept him from admitting his mistakes. Instead, he threw himself into his work, desperately seeking a distraction. But no matter how hard he tried to ignore it, the weight of his crumbling marriage followed him. As time passed, resolution seemed further out of reach. Each attempt at progress was met with setbacks. Yandy and Mendeecees were like ships passing in the night, too consumed by their own pain to bridge the gap between them. Their once promising marriage was now a mere shadow of what it had been. The slap, the lawsuit, the accusations, it had all left deep scars. And yet, neither of them was fully ready to let go, despite the irreparable damage. The public remained captivated, anxiously awaiting the next twist in this tragic saga. Some fans held on to hope for reconciliation, believing love could overcome even the most painful betrayals. Others insisted the marriage was beyond saving and that it was time for Yandy and Mendeecees to part ways. No matter where opinions fell, one thing was clear: the drama was far from over. In an attempt to reclaim her narrative, Yandy took to social media with an emotional, raw, and unfiltered post. "I never wanted it to come to this," she wrote. "But sometimes, you have to protect yourself, even if it means walking away from something you thought was worth fighting for. I've given everything to my family, to my marriage, but I can't keep sacrificing myself for something that's no longer healthy. It's time for me to heal." Her words went viral, drawing both support and criticism. Fans applauded her courage, while detractors accused her of airing private matters publicly. But Yandy no longer cared, her decision was made. Mendeecees, however, remained silent. He neither commented on the lawsuit nor responded to Yandy's public statement. His silence spoke volumes, signaling that he was not yet ready to confront the truth about his mistakes, his pride, or the crumbling marriage that had once been his anchor. As the legal battle raged on, both Yandy and Mendeecees were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The lawsuit was far from over, and the emotional wounds were still fresh. What would happen next? Would they reconcile, or was this the final chapter of their once storied marriage? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain, the drama was far from finished. What do you think? Should Yandy have taken legal action, or was there another way to resolve this? Can their marriage be saved, or is this truly the end? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for exclusive updates, and hit that bell icon. You won't want to miss what happens next.